We are in the big city, and we are headed to an even bigger city. Who's with us? We got Brent. We got Keith. Big city! We've already been hit with a crime wave. Somebody stole Keith's burger at the airport, and then they made him another one. Now he's got two. Now we're going to get on a train. 3 men on the train. Planes, trains, automobiles. Brent just took us through the entire... I was like, where the hell are we at, and what are we doing? And he knows all about this loops and where we're gonna get off. He's got it. I'm trusting Brent. He knows what he's doing. My president. Brent left his phone on the L, so now we're tracking it, and we're coming up with a plan, and we're gonna go get that phone. Get that phone. Get that phone. Get that phone. Get the phone. Get the phone! Some guy named Edwin has Brent's phone, and we're headed to him. We will find this phone.
We got some cash. We got some cash for you. Oh my God.
So Edwin was sitting to pick up his mother at the kissing ride, and he just sat here and waited for us. She picked up the phone on the way off as we got on. So we have Brent's phone. See? Chicago. It's the land of dreams and wishes. It's where dreams and wishes come true. The land of opportunity. So we're getting ready to go on the boat tour in the snow. We're just going to go get on a boat now. It's a freaking whiteout. Excellent day for an architectural tour. So we've made it to the boat. We are now below deck. Thankfully. Not up there in the wet snow anymore.
Wood. Okay? We do have stone structures, but they're limestone. What happens to limestone?
We're straight architecture touring, baby.
What's unique about it, Jeannie Gang is the architect, so she's the woman architect, holds the distinction of being the tallest building. In the backdrop there,
the water is still kind of green. That's our hotel.
Chicago. And he did.
I'm telling you, it's cold. Really cold. I just peed ice cubes. It's cold in Chicago. There's our boat. I see you, Keith. I love you, Keith. I see you.
The first building he does is in the 1960s.
The Summer of George.
But in true Chicago fashion, we find out when they're going to go into court and the night before we...
We're headed over here. Yeah. Pedro told us yesterday we'd find his phone, and we did. We should have listened to him. All right, back out. It's cold as dump. There's our hotel.
I had Lego here.
Stick your hand in. We're trapped. We cannot see the beam. And there's the first painting. Wow. Pretty wild. Several Monets.
I have to say,
Yeah, I didn't see it. Thanks.
all right.
I mean, this is basically Emily and Joey. I mean, me it's us. This painting is for Brent and Keith, the glass of beer. I thought you might like it. Mark Chagall, which I love, he does windows. I didn't know he did windows. It's wild. I feel it in my plums. My plums. We just saw a little mini version of this at the museum, at the art museum. This is the big one. That's what she said. It's cold as hell outside, and Keith's got his visor on still. No gloves, he ain't scared. We're gonna go get some beef sandwiches. What's it called? Perdillos? Where are we eating dinner? What's the name of it? Portillo's. Portillo's. Maxwell Street Polish, Italian beef sandwich. I think that's the way to go. Oh, Radius. Orbital at Radius.
Saturday night in South London, hundreds of young people are gathering for the latest craze, an acid house party in a disused warehouse.
My college roommate Brent got me into the band Orbital, and he just bought a CD at Tower Records on a whim one night and got into them. We both got into them in college, so that was back in the early 90s. And then he and I flew to Tulsa, Oklahoma, the hotbed of electronic music, and we saw them in concert in 99. And then we went down to Atlanta, Brent and I, and we went with his friend Blake, who was on this trip with us, in 2001. And we saw them. And it was great. All those shows were some of the best shows I've ever been to in my life. And he calls one day and he says they're coming to Chicago. They're only going to do a couple of shows in the U.S., and we need to go see them. It had been 23 years since we had seen Orbital, and I initially said, no, I'm not going to go. That's too much money to go fly to Chicago and see a show. And he was like, do it. You won't regret it. And he talked me into it, and I did it. And we had a great trip, and we got to see Orbital. And most people in the United States have no clue who Orbital even is. But the three of us, Blake, Brent, and I, we're pretty keen on the Orbital. And it was a great show. They did not come on until it was midnight when they came on, which was ridiculously late. We are really old. I'm in my 50s, and going to a midnight show that ends at 2 a.m. in the morning, that's pretty rough on an old man. We also drug Brent's brother Keith along, and Keith was probably not the biggest Orbital fan. He had never heard an Orbital song. He had never been involved in the Orbital trend at all, as most people are not. But we drug him along, made him go. Back at the hotel, 2:30. They played from midnight until 2 a.m. Woo! Woo. I'm too old for this shit. Keith partied a little too hard last night, so we're gonna take Grandpa and put him on the plane now. Try to get him home, get him back to the nursing home. She said, "Be careful going down." He said, "That's what she said."